Hi and welcome to the Studio Marco Primeau. Today we talk about mastering workflow with Magix Samplitude Pro X4. I just received Samplitude X4 and I'm glad you joined me to explore some mastering workflow the software offers. So of course, I'm not a mastering engineer in any way, and it's not a course about how to master. It's just an idea of what kind of workflow Samplitude offers and some tricks to get it done faster if you're in a rush and you need to print something temporary. So let's dive in. All right, the first thing that we will do is change the workspace to mastering. The tools will be better laid out, and of course the meters and everything, and up there too some CD tools, and of course we're going to create a new project. So new project, I'm going to call it mastering test. And as for template, if you want to go simple, go with the 2-track CD. Everything's there. Match the sample rate to your audio files. There's no point to upscale at this point, or if your mixes are in 96 kilohertz, there's no point to master them in 48 or something like that. To me, my songs were exported 96 kilohertz, so I'm going to keep it like that. Like this. All right, so we have our 2 tracks that we can work with, and I can expand this. You see the template already has a lot of plugins already on the master channel. I will remove all of them, but at some point I need to take time to analyze all the tools that Samplitude offers, because of course I've been doing this for years and Samplitude is new for me. So in a future video we will explore what those effects do and how good they do it, and I'm sure they're pretty fine. But I'm used to other tools, so I'm going to remove all of them. All right. Another thing we can do is activate the CD mode. What it will do is calculate the 2 seconds between songs for us. And of course, the snap to object also will help when we move songs to determine that 2 second. So let's import some files. Import, load, and I'm gonna choose those 3 songs that I did earlier this year. Of course, if you want to select more than one song, just select one, keep the shift key down, and click on the last one, and you will choose many files. And we click on open. You want to convert, okay. So seems to be it. You see it already made the distance between the songs, and if we select the distance, you see that it's 2 seconds. Of course, if your song still needs to be worked on, let's say fade outs or fade in, or remove some silence, then you will need to readjust the 2 seconds distance between the songs. I know by heart that this song needs a fade out, so I'm gonna do it right here. And what is very interesting about Samplitude ways of doing things, their object editor is very powerful, and there's a lot of stuff we can do right there to the object without adding any effect on the track itself. So as for now, my fade out, I want to change it, so I'm going to go in fades and change the shape, and I'm pretty sure it will be better like that, because I'm used to it, so that's what I want to hear. So being in the object editor, one thing that you can do if you want to speed your process, let's say you're at the end of a session and you want to go fast and give a pseudo mastering or something that will hold itself for the customer before the master will be done. So there's some tricks that I use. The first one is using isotope ozone equalizer. And what is nice with this one is that it will, it has a matching tool, and you can put a 6 dB or pink noise reference. I like that 6 dB. It removes a bit of high frequencies, and it keeps them smoother. And you just hit capture and then play a part of the song. Then we push stop, and it will adjust the curve by itself to get your frequency the closest to the guide, the 6 dB guide that you see the line under there. So let's just play a bit of it. So my idea is to get the songs sounding similar and start from that point. So it's just a starting point. Another thing interesting is if you want to add an effect on the objects, but on more than one object at a time, the same trick, you hold shift, select the objects that you want, and you can add the effect in question. So recent use. Like this. So now my 3 songs have the EQ. I'm going to detect the curve on the other songs. So again, matching, capture, and then we play a part of the song. You know how to help me find the stars when the sky is cloudy. Say you will. All right, the other song. Of course, remember, mastering is all about making your whole albums sound like one experience, and it should also keep up with what is on the market. So again. Someday I'll show you I can do it all. That I won't be falling like the autumn leaves. Someday. All right. Now that the frequencies are more similar from song to song, of course we will address the volumes. Nice feature of the object editor is the Normalize button. what it does is it will adjust the peaks of the object close to 0 dB. So you see the peak here. So if I do that on each songs, I'm one step closer to have similar volumes on each song. But of course, your ears needs to be the last judge of it. So I'm going to play a part of each song and try to determine if a song is too loud or too soft for the others. And of course, I'm using the louder parts of each song to determine that. There's no point of going to a softer part of a song on one song and on the hard part of another song. You get a point. So I'm going to choose that.
Stars when the someday I'll show you I can. You know how to right at night.
Okay, I feel that this song is a bit louder than the others. Of course, it's a soft song and the volume of the vocal is higher, is more present in the song. So I don't want to have to reach my volume when I listen to the CD, and I prefer to put it lower. So again,
I'm great at night. You know how to help me find you. I can do it all.
yeah, I like that. So I'm gonna lower the volume here because we're gonna add some other tools. There's one thing that I didn't do is adjust my my space between the first and second song. So it's really easy when you select the arrange mode and snap to object. You see, you just move it and it calculates the distance for you. There I went too far, but if I go slow, you see, it just catches the distance. Okay, so what I'm used to work with is Ozone. You see here the equalizer already. I'm gonna load it to the master channel like this. And of course, the other thing that I like to use is a limiter at the end of my signal path. And I chose FabFilter's limiter because it has LUFS meter. And the thing with LUFS meter is that it gives you an average of the peaks and the average sound, the average levels, and it's a more accurate way to decide what your audio level should be. Maybe you don't know, but the volume war is ended, and a lot of streaming platforms like YouTube and others will just modify your levels if you are too loud. And what's nice with FabFilter Pro L is that you have a suggestion on the level. This is for CD, and you can choose, of course, -14 for streaming and other levels that you can use as a reference. So I'm gonna play a few parts of the songs and see if I can be near.
Find the and I won't be falling like the autumn leaves.
All right, so in Ozone, the first thing I'll do is ditch the equalizer because we did it on the object level. The dynamic, I don't do much with it. The first thing I like to do is put it in mid-side mode, and I will adjust all bands at the same time. And what I'm gonna do is just touch the signal. So if there's a peak in one frequency that get out of hands, it might save the take and of course help me not return to the mix to correct the problem. So what I like is to have a longer attack, so the reaction of the compressor is smoother. And I'm gonna play a part of a song. Oops.
I was wrong. I'm crying at night. You were right.
So you see, it's just touching that band, and on the other bands, there's no compression at all. Of course, I can come back to it later and modify stuff if I hear something wrong. So and now I'm gonna check the side. Same thing. I'm gonna go for 30 milliseconds, and we're gonna listen to a part of.
I was wrong. I'm crying at night. You were right.
And one interesting thing that we can do with mid-side effects is to add a bit of gain to the side and make our mix wider. Oh, not 30 dB, sorry. We're gonna just put 3. Usually I will put 2 or 3 dB, not much more than that. And let's listen before and after. You see, the result is very subtle, but of course, as soon as we add effects and correction to the sound, it will get more obvious afterward. What I did is use the gain match, because if it's louder, it's better. You know that's a trick that our mind play on us. So I like to compare always with the same volumes. And of course in L2 there's also that function. If you go here, yeah, the 1.1 will keep the same volumes. One thing I didn't do earlier was to lower the final output of the limiter. I like to put it at minus 0.5 dB, and this is to avoid being too close to 0 dB. Some CD players will freak out and give artifacts, so that's one thing I always do as a precaution. So let's go back here. Okay, the maximizer, I don't like it. I'm gonna go faster because, of course, this is a small part of the workflow, getting the sound that you want. And of course, this is about Samplitude, not about Ozone or Pro L2. So what I like to add is a vintage compressor. And again, I will just touch the signal, just keep it smooth. Just like that. And then I also like the vintage tape. And of course, if you like that, for pop and rock music, I often add the exciter. The exciter is a tool that will simulate analog gear that will add some harmonic distortion to your signal. So you have to play with that with care. All right, that's about it for this part. Of course, when you done all this, you need to go back and check the volume of each song to be sure that there's not one that jumps at you. So what I like to do is open the limiter and of course play a bit of each song. This might be very annoying for a customer if they are in the room with you, and of course it's annoying for me too, but it's one thing you need to do when you master. You need to compare each song and very often in the process. So let's just check it.
'Cause I was wrong. You know how to help me find. Someday I'll show you I can do it. You were right.
All right, that's good for me. So of course we can go on for hours. As I said, my point is just to expose my workflow. So the next step will be to name the tracks and prepare for the exportation. All right, we've made every song of our album sound the best they could, and now it's time to take those files and export them from Samplitude. If you are clever like I am, you did name the audio files the same name of the song. So you see the file names here. I was wrong, Tammy. So those are the titles of the songs, and they are also the file names. And if you did that, you have a function here that will put markers already with the names on top of your project. And what this do is that when you want to name and add your artist name and stuff like that, the index is already created. So my next step would be to go to CD and then to CD text and MP3 editor. And now you can write down all the information. So let's see, I was wrong. The artist is my friend Richard. He wrote the songs, he composed them, and I was the one who made the arrangement of the CD, mixing and everything. So, and after that you can select the genre, which will be pop, and then the year. And if you want, you can replicate those information to all the songs, copy data to all tracks. So if I go to the second track, it says Tammy, but all the rest is the same. And of course, you can go back and do the same on the album itself. Like this, and all right. Okay. Of course, if you're gonna send this to a replication plant, if your album is going to be sold on the shelf, the distributor will give you a disk ID, and there's a lot of other information that you will need to enter in your project prior to export. So I'm gonna hit OK. So you have many ways to export your project. You can hit CD and generate a complete project file, and this all one file will be used to burn all the CDs that you need, or you can go and burn MP3s if you want directly from Samplitude. Okay, another way would be to export each file separately and burn them in another software if you want. So the best way to do that is, well, before you do anything, don't forget to put your master level to 0 dB, so the exact level from the limiter will be burned into your files. So the other way will be to go in File, Export, and choose Wave. Another way to call this is to click on Control and E. This is the same page. And right here, you can choose the format. If it's for CD production, you need to put that in 44 kilohertz, 16-bit, stereo, of course. I never use dithering or stuff like that. And if Samplitude needs it, it will do it automatically. So you just create a new folder, master, and then the file name won't be used. Each files will get the name of the marker here. So we will export the whole project, and you can create one file, but that's not what we want. We have 3 songs, so I want 3 files. Each CD tracks will be in a file, and you can click or not this check to use the marker, the order of the songs as track numbers, like this. So I'm going to keep it like that. And what it does is it will create the files like this. So let's try. I hope you liked this video. I'm sure you have a ton of questions and comments, so you can put them down below. And don't forget to subscribe and click on like if you liked it. And of course, hit the bell if you want to have notifications. This is only part 1 of my mastering workflow. We will go together in more details, and of course, the idea is to answer your questions and react to your comments. I will learn some stuff. Maybe you could too. So join me and see you on the next one.